Hey everybody, welcome back for another memory keeping video. So this is for February 17th through the 23rd, and this is going to be the redemption arc of the Cinderella Paper kit called Bibliophile. I don't think they currently sell this one, but I used this at the beginning of last year, so the beginning of 2024. I was like my new year, new me. No, more like new year, same me type of kit, but I kind of fumbled it. And that week, I definitely should have color blocked it, even though you would think that all of the colors are very monochromatic in this kit, but for some reason it did not work when I did it. I think it had something to do with all of the patterns in the kit. So this was the completion of the redemption arc of Bibliophile. I color blocked the leftovers of this kit, which was a little bit tricky just because obviously I'm using leftovers, so I have fewer options. But I managed to make it work, and spoiler alert, I really like how this turned out. So this was sort of no, it wasn't that rainy of a week. It only rained on Wednesday of this week, but it was a little bit like still light winter type of vibes this week. So I liked using the candle box on Tuesday that says rainy day reads because Wednesday was a rainy day. February was kind of, I don't know, what February is always a weird month for me. Let me know how February is for you. It's like exciting because it's my husband's birthday and Valentine's Day, but then the month just goes by way too quickly and it's very much winter here with like a lot of sunshine at the same time, but it's just like I don't know. I feel like everyone's like seasonal affective disorder is going strong at that point and they're just ready for spring and so am I honestly. And it's just kind of a blah month. It's like the excitement of new year, new me has worn off and it's like, oh dear, now we have to actually do things. I don't know. Is that just me? This week, to sum up, was a little bit of a struggle. I don't know. I was just in a funk, in a weird headspace. I also think it has to do with the fact that this time last year, our lives were so chaotic. Like basically from September 2023 to May 2024 was a big just struggle time. If you're new here, in September 2023, my husband accepted a new job where we currently live, which involved setting in motion a huge move. And then in October of 2023, our kitten got deathly ill, and I started going to Colorado once a month. For context, I live in California. So, yes, that is a bit of a journey to treat my little kitten so that she wouldn't die. And that was only supposed to take place from October to January, but then she relapsed, so we started another 3 months of that. So, yeah, this time last year we were still in the thick of it and also kind of feeling like we couldn't really do much outside of the house because she needed medication like every few hours because she was on a lot of supportive medications. And so, that was all going on. And then I feel like June and July last year were pretty chill. And then August through December of 2024, there was so much travel, which was amazing. But they're like all the weddings get packed into the second half of the year, it feels like, because millennials love a fall wedding, even though fall doesn't really exist in California, if I'm being honest. A couple of those weddings took place outside of California, so whatever. But even then, like it was not fall weather. Um, so yeah, that was just 2024 was just like the first half was struggle and then the second half was struggle, but like let's party at the same time. I was just talking about this with my husband. I was like, what even was last year? So these first few months of 2025 have been weird because we've definitely slowed down a lot and it feels like I'm supposed to be doing something, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, if that makes sense. Like we went to Tahoe for our anniversary. February, we stayed home a lot. I mean, we went out to Berkeley for a day trip. But yeah, February, we were just trying to do stuff around Sacramento where we live. And it felt weird. I also just like wasn't feeling my best, if I'm being honest. Like I didn't get sick, but I just wasn't feeling like good, if that makes sense. Like there was nothing particularly wrong. I think I was just feeling really restless, honestly. So I don't know. It's also just been like with everything going on with the federal administration, honestly, it's been bad for my mental health. And I struggle to talk about that because I don't want to like put a target on my back, quite frankly. But at the same time, like I'm currently a college professor and I used to be a journalist. So I think the ship's already sailed on me being considered not a great person by the current administration. If I'm being real, like I can't undo my career and I wouldn't and I won't. So that's just my rambly thoughts about why I haven't been feeling my best, if I'm being honest. There's been some other stuff going on too that I'm not going to talk about publicly just to protect people's privacy. But yeah, I've been in a real head funk. So those 3 habit trackers are for flossing, not being on Instagram, and for doing a puzzle, which is kind of a new thing for me. I like puzzles. I don't have that many, but this week I was like in depth working on a puzzle. And then this week header is for dinners. And then I put in a sticker from Sweet Ava's Paper for something I'm not going to talk about. And then I pulled in a flat lay sticker, a really old one from Oh Hello Co. that kind of went with the vibes of this week, like books and all of that. Because I was trying to get into reading more. That's kind of where my no Instagram habit tracker came in. So yeah, I've been reading a bit more here at the beginning of 2025. Things have gotten busy again, so that's fallen by the wayside just a little bit. But for the most part, I have definitely read more in 2025 in the first like 4 months than I have like the last 2 years. So yeah, that's cool. So Monday, the first thing I marked was that it was President's Day. So my husband and I both had this day off. That was nice. So I have a star from Scribble Prints Co. and a script from Plannahannah. I also marked that it was planned with Elizabeth's birthday. So I have a little cupcake from Michael's. There's a lot of planner people who I obviously don't know in real life. There are some who I have met in real life, and that's been lovely. But I don't know. I just want to have fun things to mark in my planner. So like if you mention it's your birthday, it's probably going to end up in my planner if we chat a lot on Instagram or YouTube or that sort of thing. Did laundry, that's from Beneva Creations, and then we did our taxes this day on President's Day. We ended up owing a little bit on our federal taxes. I last year had like 3 different jobs, sometimes at the same time, so my withholding gets a little weird. Basically, we have it kind of set up where like our main withholding comes out of my husband's checks because his are way more consistent. So we owed a little bit to the federal government, which given the state of things kind of seems weird, but whatever. And then we got a little bit of a refund from the state, so it kind of all like balanced out. Anyway, I used Sweet Ava's Paper sticker for that. I also used Sweet Ava's Paper for filming a plan with me, and then watched a bunch of Great British Bake Off. So I have a Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. for that. You probably didn't need to know my entire tax situation, but that was the situation. Tuesday has been kind of my house cleaning day, at least like earlier in the semester. So I just have a house sticker to mark that for tidying up the house. I did a workout, so I have a Sweet Ava's Paper sticker for that. I was voicing over and filming some videos, so I have a Plannahannah podcast icon. I was doing some reading, which was nice, so that is from Sweet Ava's Paper. And then this was the evening that I started my Rainbow Cats puzzle. I got this as a Christmas gift a couple years ago, or maybe like a year ago. And I finally decided to start putting it together in an effort to be off my phone a little bit more. And it took over my life for like 2 weeks, and it was great. So I have a puzzle icon from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then I watched more Great British Bake Off. That is from Beneva Creations. Wednesday, the first thing I marked was that it would be 5 months till the My Chemical Romance concert we're going to go to. So I have a ticket icon from Plannahannah. I wrote in that we had 90 more days of Clover's observation, well, at least like 90 more days till it'll be 1 year since Clover has had to take any medication. So that paw print is from an old Caress press kit. I marked my classes this day with a chalkboard icon from Sweet Ava's Paper. I was grading, so I'm going to put in a Beneva Creations character for that. And then this was the the day, it was like probably still morning when I did this, when I picked up my campus issued laptop because I only recently found out that I was allowed to apply for a campus issued laptop. Yeah, so it doesn't make like that much of a difference, but I do try as much as possible to like keep things separate with work and personal, especially because my personal laptop's getting a bit older. So if I could use that more for just personal stuff and like do my grading and lesson planning on the work computer, that would be great. But yeah, I had a nice chat with one of our younger IT guys. He was a student there previously at the college. So he was asking me what I taught because I guess his brother is going to go to school there in the fall. So he was trying to figure out who to recommend. I was like, you're very nice. So yeah, picked up that. That's from Sweet of His Paper. I had a massive headache this day and I didn't have any Advil in my purse or in my backpack. So I had to teach why do I keep saying evening and I don't know. My afternoon class, I had to teach it with a massive headache, which that was fun. And it rained a little bit this day. Clover had a little bit of a wheezing fit. She does have either asthma or allergies. We give her an inhaler for that. And then I watched more Great British Bake Off. So everything at the bottom of Wednesday was from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Thursday was a bit of a challenging color blocking day just because there was no orange pattern in the kit. It's just this red pattern. So I just kind of alternated between solid orange and the red pattern because that red pattern was my favorite pattern from the kit. But I couldn't figure out how to make it work color blocked. So I did my best, but I think I like how it turned out. I marked that my husband worked from home with Sweet Ava's paper clip. And then I marked that it was 9 months of Clover's observation with the Beneva Creations cat. And then I used a couple of Beneva Creations girls to mark my grading and my lesson planning that I did this day. And then later in the day, I read a little bit, so that icon is left over from a Caress Press kit. And then I cashed out my travel rewards points on my travel rewards card because I had like $400 worth of them. So got some cash back because I knew my February paycheck was going to be a little bit smaller just because of how they schedule out how they pay me. It makes sense and also doesn't make sense at the same time, but my February paycheck was a little bit lower, unfortunately. And then I watched a bunch of Hannah Gadsby specials on Netflix because that's just the mood I was in. I needed some comedy. So that TV is from Quarks and Quarks Go. Friday, I marked again that my husband worked from home. I had a professional development meeting this day, so I had to go to campus. So I have this like brainstorming cat from Sweet Ava's Paper. I thought that was cute for this type of meeting because we were working on like brainstorming and projects and stuff. Then I did some more grading after I came home, so that's from Beneva Creations. And then we went to the same sushi restaurant that we went to the week before, but we didn't get sushi because I try to limit how often I eat sushi just because of the state of the ocean, quite frankly. Like the sushi is delicious, I love it, but like I try to limit it to like once a month just because it is raw fish. So yeah, excuse me. I used a sticker party set of chopsticks and a script from Once More with Love to mark that we went there and tried like some of, I think I got like chicken teriyaki or something, which was great. And then I watched more Great British Bake Off, so that's from Beneva Creations. Saturday, the first thing I marked was sleeping in with this Sweet Ava's Paper set of cats. And then we decided to go to the riverfront in like kind of downtown Old Sacramento. And we just walked along a trail along the Sacramento River, which was nice. We saw sea lions, which I feel like I haven't seen them this far up in a while. We got a lot of rain in the season, so they can come up from, I think technically from the ocean. They like swim up the river delta. And so there were a bunch of them, which was really interesting. I heard them and I was like, are those really sea lions? They were. Either sea lions or seals, but most likely sea lions. So that was kind of fun. And then we went to Temple Coffee, which I think is like my favorite of the coffee roaster companies that we have here locally. We really like coffee roasting and we really like brewing beer in this town. We like our stimulants in the morning and we like our depressants in the evening. Like, so that we have a lot of good coffee options, but Temple is definitely my favorite. So those icons are from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I came home and read more of my book, so that's from Sweet Ava's Paper, and then watched more Great British Bake Off. So that pie icon was from Once More with Love, and I played with the kitty cats, so I have a Molly for that. Then on Sunday, the first thing I'm going to mark is just kind of binge watching a bunch of Plan With Me videos because I think I hadn't had a lot of time this week to catch up on YouTube. So I have this gigantic flat lay sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. that I love. And then I read more of my book, so that's from Sweet Ava's Paper. And then I played a little bit of Sims on my iPad. So it's not the same as like Sims on the computer, but quite frankly, I just don't have the hard drive space to install the Sims. I have the Sims, I own the Sims 3 and a few expansion packs, and Sims 3 is definitely, it's Sims 3, no, Sims 4, sorry. Sims 4 like is my preferred option, but I, like I said, don't have hard drive space for that. So that icon's from Simply a Mess. So is the script, but she doesn't sell stickers anymore, sadly, so sorry that you can't get those. But yeah, I was just playing The Sims Free Play on my iPad. And it's fine. It's not the same, but, you know, it was fun. And then we tried Biro, which is a non-alcoholic beer that Tom Holland has like is funding or something like that. Which he's with Zendaya, so he's got good taste. So it was pretty good. We recently found a non-alcoholic IPA by is it Atlantic Brewing? I'll look up the name and put it here. I can't remember. But we tried Vero. It was nice. So that's from Beneva Creations. And then we booked camping at Pinnacles National Park. We did unfortunately end up having to cancel that because the weather was bad the weekend we booked. And then I watched more Great British Bake Off. So that is everything for this week. I actually really like how it turned out. I think this kit works really well color blocked. But yeah, I hope you're having a good day. I'll talk to you later.